I brought him in to like play tennis with me, but he came in and a huge fight broke out right before he got there, and I was like sobbing.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, "It's okay, we're good, let's play." And he's like, we don't have to hit. You're like crying. And I'm like, I cried all through junior tennis. I've been crying all through junior tennis. I play my best in tears. You fucking drop shot me while I was crying.
Yeah, if you hit the ball to Hannah, she's going to punish you. So you need to like move her around. You know what I mean? And when your opponent is ailing, you can't fall for it.
True.
You can't change the way you play. You don't not hit drop shots because the other person's cramping.
GIULIO capitalized, but I respect it. I respect it.
Thank you.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Guys, welcome back. Oops, the podcast. Giulio Gallerati, Ryan Lynch. We have a big guest today. Special guest.
You call me big.
A big guest. You're a big guest. You are. She rocks. We love her. She was one of the kind of OG Oops, the podcast guests, actually. Yeah. I think you were on like episode 5 or something. I don't know.
I remember it like it was 8. Yesterday.
It was. Things got a little heated. It was good.
Did we fight?
We may have.
And then we made up.
We all made up. Mm-hmm. And your life has, you've had a lot going on since then. It's been cool. Anyway, what a weird, convoluted intro. Give it up for Hannah Berner, everybody.
That's how Welcome I like it. Thank you.
Welcome to the stew.
I've always loved Oops because I love you guys, and I also am oopsing left and right. Oopsing is kind of my thing.
You're fucking up.
Yeah. That's the only way you learn. I always say you fail fast. Just fail fast left and right.
Oh, I like that.
Keep
actually.
Swimming.
I like that for you.
Oops as fast as possible.
Yeah, I was so, it's been very interesting watching you the last couple of years do your thing, do it up. You had your sort of dramatic fall from grace from the reality world, mm-hmm. and you've really done quite well for yourself since then. I
do think dramatic fall from graces are the kind of kick in the ass sometimes you need to like get your shit in order. Mm-hmm. 'Cause like you lose your ego, you lose like whatever wrong things you were doing things for, and you're just like, how do I wake up and be happy? And sometimes that like simple mindset is like, it guides you. I always say that like, look at me just immediately becoming Brene Brown, but Let's go. All you need, like, I feel like everything's already there and shit gets complicated over time. So once you get like embarrassed and like you're just raw is when you're like, oh wait, I see things clearly now. And you go to therapy.
Yeah. All good stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's been, I always wonder about what that was like. So you're like, okay, I have this, and I'm not gonna put words in your mouth. This is just mm-hmm. the way that I was seeing it. You mm-hmm. can tell me what you think about this. So I'm watching you. You're having, I'm hearing about it. I'm seeing some of it. You know what I mean? I kind of almost felt guilty like watching because I was like, that feels predatory. If someone's like, Hannah like had a crazy episode or whatever, I don't want to be like, oh, I need to watch that, dude. Like that like feels mean or something. Yeah. So I was like, I'll let her have her privacy.
It's like knowing someone fell on their face and being like, wait, show me the video.
Run it back. Oh, dude, start it over. For real though, right? So
and also you were almost on an episode.
Oh yeah, I got cut out. That's on my resume. Cut out of season 6, episode 1 of Summer House.
I brought him in to like play tennis with me, but it's the best story. He came in and a huge fight broke out right before he got there, and I was like sobbing.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, it's okay, we're good, let's play. And he's like, we don't have to hit. You're like crying. And I'm like, I cried all through junior tennis. I've been crying all through junior tennis. I play my best in tears. And I remember like we had like just met too kind of, and you were so sweet about it. And then I was like, thanks for coming. And you were like, okay.
Did I give you a hug? Did I give you a comforting hug?
I think you did. Yeah. And I don't even, it's one of those things where when you shoot reality TV, there's so many different voices in your head. You're so gaslit. You don't know what's going on. And you just know you're scared. So you're not like yourself in that moment.
That's funny.
You're not clear-headed by any means.
I'm sure.
And
Did you end up playing at all?
Yeah, we played. We hit some balls, hit some ground stroke games. I was trying to move her around. If you hit,
drop shot me while I was crying.
Yeah, if you hit the ball to Hannah, she's gonna punish you. So you need to like move her around. You know what I mean? That's like,
oh god, with your spinny balls.
I'm like, okay, we can't if I'm hitting like flat shots, or she's just gonna whoop me. So like, I gotta like move the ball around, play little dirty games. And when your opponent is ailing, you can't fall for it.
True.
You can't change the way you play. you don't stop. You don't not hit drop shots because the other person's cramping.
GIULIO saw blood and he sharked it.
I capitalized.
He capitalized, but I respect it. I respect it.
Thank you. We hit some balls. It was fun. Yeah. Then they like interviewed me in the kitchen real quick. And then I didn't make it into the episode, so that was great. That was really great for me.
Well, you didn't drink or fuck anyone, so like,
yeah, no shot.
You didn't have it.
Yeah,
sorry, you didn't have the skills.
Sorry. Well, maybe
you
next
go.
time.
Did you see that forehand though? And they're like, "But do you hate anyone on the show?" And they're like, "I'm just trying to have a good time."
I'm like, there's a show. Like,
Actually, I was crying at one point, and I walked to the back, and you had parked your car, and mid cry, I was like, "That's a nice car. Did he borrow that?"
I think I borrowed my friend's G-Wagon.
It was sick. I was
I
like
just pulled
mid-tears. I go, Julia's doing well. Shit.
Pulled up with the G63 royal blue, dude. I'm like, who, what? Which is funny in retrospect. Like, I don't want to give that vibe off because that's like the thing that makes people not want to help you in your career. I'm like, it's not mine. Like, nobody in my family bought this. Like, I don't like choose to do comedy, but I could theoretically just do whatever. Like, I will die if I don't have road dates. Please book me. You know?
That's so true. I know. I'm like, he's like a good comic, but like, I didn't see him like private jetting here. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't want to be like that person. But whatever. That is
it's a Hamptons. No one's judging.
Yeah, whatever. Borrowed a car, went over there.
Everything's smoke and mirrors, guys.
Yeah, that's true. So, okay, we don't need to do like a full recap.
I had a couple rough reality TV episodes.
You had a couple rough reality TV episodes. Shit kind of hits the fan for you. And now you're kind of like, okay, I guess I need to I've been doing comedy. Mm-hmm. I had this solid thing that's gone now.
Yeah.
Like, how do I leverage it into doing, continuing on this path or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, I was on this reality TV show and then got offered a talk show, which was kind of the dream that the network was like, we see you as a reality TV
on
girl,
the network.
But we see you as this like potential like personality and talent, which was like what I wanted to do. So I was riding high, and whenever I do anything, I go 150% into it. Like if I didn't get fired, I'd probably still be on reality TV because I'm just like, you gotta do the best you can. I'm just like, how high do you want me to jump? But I got fired from both, and I'm like,
so you got fired from the talk show because of the TV show?
Yeah.
And I was wondering if, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was wondering if, and I'm sure a lot of people were suspicious as to like whether or not this was just a whole planned thing and then you'd have redemption. But then you didn't have redemption.
I was actually told that I was going to get redemption, and it just like didn't happen. But I also was told that it was going to be a good season for me. So like I was really blindsided. But I mean, what I'm talking is not some crazy shit like, oh, you go on reality TV and you have a good season, you have a bad season. It's typical. Getting fired was wild, especially when like a lot of the stories revolved around me. And as an athlete, I'm like, I did what you guys wanted me to do. I worked. Like I was working. I was getting involved in storylines. I was putting myself out there. I was expressing myself. I was locked in a house for 2 months. And it was pretty bad when I was getting fired. But comedy, not to be dramatic, it like saved my life because I would at night go to like a club or a produced show, and I'd be sitting with like a comic, and they'd be like, how are you? And I'm like, honestly, it's not good. And I'd tell them like the tea, and they'd start laughing so hard. They're like, that's fucking hilarious.
Oh, nice.
And they'd be like, if I was in your position, I would have done the same thing. And they gave me this new perspective of like finding the funny in it all.
Interesting.
And also being like, we see you as a comic. Like this character that you're being portrayed as it's pretty funny that this is happening to you. And I was like, no, I can't look at my phone right now. And they were just dying laughing. And I was dealing with a lot of depression and anxiety during the time. Oopsie. And
I mean,
surprise, I just say oopsie like every 30 seconds. Surprise. And because I'm not even sensitive. I mean, I am sensitive, but you don't have to be a sensitive person to like feel the effects of a hard career moment. But then when I was on stage, it was like those 15 minutes I was out of my own head. You know how stand-up comedy is like sports, like when you're on the court or you're on the stage, you have to be in the moment or you fuck up. So I'd have this 15 minutes of like forgetting the situation I was in, and it was the only time I felt like myself.
Interesting.
Because you kind of feel like people are seeing you with this like dirt on you, because they're not seeing the realistic part of what happened. They're seeing this like fake story that was put together. So going on stage was me basically fighting like for my voice again. I'd be like, judge me from this, judge me raw with a mic for 15 minutes. And then I started to book some shows, and I remember doing some headlining gigs and I go on stage and I'd be paranoid, like these people probably think a type of way about me, but I just have to keep pushing through.
Like the comics or the people in the audience?
Like the people in the audience.
Yeah.
The comics always just knew me as a comic, and they knew I did some silly show, and that was like very nice, because they like, comics just care about like, are you funny or not, I feel like.
Yeah.
And when you're like, I'm going through it, they're like, so am I.
Right.
So you feel like less alone.
Right, unless it's like, I'm going through it, and they're like, so am I, and then they just tell you what they're going through instead of listening to what you were going through. True. Which is a thing that they do.
True.
Filled with insane, malignant narcissists.
Yeah, so none of the comics give a fuck,
Yeah.
and it made me feel better.
Yeah.
Sometimes what's going on in your life feels so fucking horrible and so big, and then you realize it's actually small in the grand scheme of things. I hate to be like, no one gives a fuck, but like that should help you get out of a dark time, to be like, no one actually cares and everything is so temporary.
Right.
And I do have that like sports mentality where I'm like, okay, I'm down, I lost first set, I'm down 4-love.
Yeah.
Let's fucking come back, bitches.
Yeah.
And I got like jacked up, because
for me, I try to play every point. I'm playing every point. The one that I lose already, it's over already, man. You know, I gotta play the next one, and I win 3-4. I come back.
I don't even know how to lose. I never lost before. Get the eyebrow. I never lost before. And I think that I definitely I liked the idea that I knew who I was, and like I really think like if people lie on your name, or like something gets construed, or people misunderstand you, that happens. But in the long term, it's hard for them to like make you look a type of way for too long. So like I just kept being myself, and TikTok was where I gravitated towards, and I was late to it. Like I wasn't that like COVID time. Yeah. I just remember posting on TikTok, and no one who knew me from reality TV was commenting. Right. Because the algorithm was just hitting like New York City cool girls, and I was like, oh, this is fun. People are just saying, hey, that was funny. Right, the Gen Z mommy. It's hard, bro. So I like started getting addicted to my own TV show that was my own voice, and I was posting like 3 times a day, and I just got hooked on it. And I'm not saying this is all healthy behavior. I'm not saying you should do any of this, but I always said, like with Oops, if you're gonna fail fast and just keep moving, never just like stay in that like sad place. So I was like, I'd rather fail on TikTok or fail on stage than be stuck thinking about the past. Okay, so I want to hear more about this whole process. So shit hits the fan. You're not coming back. The process. You're not coming back for whichever season, right? Yeah. They tell you. Yeah. Your world is sort of like shit for a second, right? Right? For a couple of days at least. And I'm sure it's like the death of a family member or something. Like it's really bad at first, and then it becomes less bad, but it's still bad. Instead of being, I was just engaged too. You had just become engaged at that moment. I was engaged for I got engaged, I think like 5 months ago, but it's that like honeymoon, like, you know, now. Yeah, like, you get engaged and you're like, oh, this is my new great life. And then it's like, duh, 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 duh. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. No, I relate to it a little, because I mean, I was planning that in sort of the aftermath of my own sort of like rebuilding moment with the pod, whatever. Yeah. And not the same, you know what I mean? And I don't mean to compare it, because yours is a much more dramatic tale of success, first of all. Good for you. Well, it's also dramatic just because reality TV is fucking insane. Yeah. But I mean, reality TV is imitating life. Yes, indeed. Yeah. And you went through a shift. Yeah. So whatever. But you lose the shows, you lose both of them. You had your whole future plan. Suddenly you have to figure it out. So like, at what point are you immediately like, I need to figure out what to do kind of thing, and made a plan and just did it type of thing? I do love sleep. I probably would sleep a lot, like depressed, like I'm going to sleep. But then when I was awake, I needed to be doing something. So it's this weird, I'm either 0 or 150. Yeah. And I definitely didn't feel like my friends were treating me a normal way. I had a little stink on me. And I think that was good for me. Like that negative motivation. Yeah, but also it was your birthday and people aren't really posting about you, and I'm like, oh, people don't know if it's a vibe to fuck with me anymore. And then just made me realize how the entertainment industry is so fucking fickle. I know, oh my god, it's my favorite word. It's so fucking fickle, I'm like, and I'm like a pretty loyal person. Like I never forget anyone who like fucked with me early in the day, and I never forget someone who like disrespected me when I was going through a hard time. Like I'm a Sicilian. Like I remember that shit. But and people are like, oh, don't hold grudges. No, I keep my circle pretty small of like people that I like, and I don't need other people to like me who want bad things for me.
You're like Michael Jordan. Like that speech where he's like, well, I remember in 1992, like November 18th, when that guy looked at me sideways in his Hall of Fame speech. We're like, bro, are you serious?
Did you see that sketch where they were making fun of like, I was fine with me losing, but then he shrugged. And I didn't like that shrug.
Yeah, yes.
He gave me a little stink eye.
Yeah.
And I remember that was the most vicious shit, the Jordan documentary. But revenge gets you going.
I know.
And in a way of like, what I liked about his revenge was it was never to hurt other people. I mean, they definitely were hurt by it, but like it was always him bettering himself. Mm-hmm. Like he used it. It's like Roger Federer. How the fuck does he get motivated every day to beat everyone?
I know.
Everyone has a different reason they get up, and it's not always healthy.
Yeah.
Like I always say, famous people, like, why do they need so many people to love them? It's never from a place of like love.
Right.
It's from a place of like not unconditional love that you got.
Because but you know that like how the people can turn on you, you know? And it's crazy how it scales up in a way where like you're doing arenas or whatever, say live performer.
Yeah.
And like you're afraid that one day you won't be able to fill up the arena anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, you're doing an arena.
Yeah.
And I, it's easy for me to say that I've never been at that level, but even as my career improves and I'm doing bigger stuff and now I have like new stress and new pressure that I would have been happy to have 2 years ago when I was fucking had my dick in my hand. I wasn't doing shit, whatever the fuck I'm doing. You know what I mean? Now here I am doing this stuff. I'm stressed. Am I going to sell tickets? Oh, I don't even want the ticket count.
I always thought success meant happiness, and it's really, the stress is always the same. You're still the same person. You're just dealing with different types of stress. And even like, to shout out Biggie, more money, more problems. It's true. The more money you start making, the more people want to like want money. And next thing you know, you're like, wait, I'm losing so much
complicated
money.
and,
and when I didn't have money, no one wanted any money. Barbara Corcoran was one of my favorite interviews I did. And she was like, so I can make money. Everyone needs 10K. And then people are fighting with you because you're not like, it's just, there's complicated shit going on.
Totally.
And it really is like you understanding that stuff is like up and down. And I'm kind of happy that early on in my career, it happened to me, because it's like, I do have that gratitude now where like when I sell out a theater, I'm not like, duh.
Right.
I'm like, holy fuck, this is like, this could be gone tomorrow in like a way that I'm thankful for it.
Totally.
And
That's good.
It's true that, you know, everything is just very fickle and you can't get too high or too low. And I feel like that with tennis too. I would get too high or too low. When I'd lose, I'd be like, I'm the fucking worst. And when I won, I'd be like, no one can touch me.
Yeah.
And that was like too intense. So I put too much pressure on myself.
There's a lot of good tennis metaphors.
All we do is tennis metaphors.
No, but it's good. They're good. So like a lot of the time, like Djokovic, I find some of his speeches to be inspiring when I'm having a bad day or I'm stressed out about the future or whatever. I just think about him saying some shit like, you know, the past is in the past. I know I was joking just before. And the future going to happen anyway. So I'm like, okay, yeah, Novak. Like,
I love listening to tennis quotes because let's be honest, being a pro tennis player, every single week you're probably losing. Right. How do they mentally like keep it up?
Right.
And me and you are two people who had like strong tennis careers. That was like my first failure was that. So like I've lived many lives of failing, but then people be like, holy shit, you're successful. And I'm like, it's like when you leave a job and you get a raise, like I just keep leaving jobs.
Yeah.
And I do think that once you understand that, once you know who you are, it's like you just have to, it's how you react to these things. I really like every day, like today I got in the wrong Uber. I was late for this. Like I messed up 100 times a day.
Yeah.
But like I've learned like you can let shit ruin your day or you can react to it in a positive way. And I think that's my superpower is that I'm like, I can bounce back.
The good champions, again, tennis, you know, like they always say how, you know, how quickly people bounce back from losing a couple points or like, can you get the intensity back every point or whatever? And then like, if you lose a match, like you're back.
Literally Zverev just quoted, he said something like, you have to have short-term memory with wins and losses. And I was like, ooh, that's fucking great.
Yeah, that's good.
Because when I'd be so obsessed with the result of people liking me, winning a match, inevitably people wouldn't like you and you'd lose the match.
You're right.
So it comes with this weird, almost like being tired. Like I'm 32 now, and it's like you realize you don't have the effort to control all these things around you. And I'm at this point where I think people connect with me because they know I failed.
Interesting.
Like,
interesting.
and even if they don't know that I failed, they just sense an authenticity to it. Even though now it's kind of cool to be authentic, so that's becoming like fake, to be like, I'm so real right now, like this is how I woke up, and it's like, okay, let's not try too hard.
Yeah. That's
but
funny.
Yeah,
interesting. Okay, so like a Nadal to me is a good. I like the Nadal way, but it doesn't like work for me always.
Yeah.
Where it's like I control everything that I can do, and like that's the best I can do is play my best, do my best, right?
Yes.
I will work as hard as I can, But sometimes like if it's just for me, I'm not motivated enough to work that hard. So sometimes like if there's some sort of setback or if I'm like sad or whatever, like I can be more motivated. Typically if I'm like really happy, I have like no work ethic. I start getting really fat. Like if you see me like really fat, like I'm kind of a weight fluctuator. Like whenever I'm overweight, like you can tell that I'm happy.
That's my dad, whenever he's skinny, I was like, how's work going?
Okay, dude?
And he'll be like, not good.
It's not good.
When he's happy, like he's fucking golfing and like 4 cheeseburgers, living life. This is kind of, I agree with you. It's kind of deep, but as a tennis player, when you would win, people would treat you better. Am I right?
Well, look, yes, but, and I'm sorry to like make a point on top of that, but like I'll even watch some of these guys, and I know a lot of these tennis players. I don't want to like say specifically who, because A, none of you will know who I'm talking about, and B,
it's kind of niche.
You'll know everybody that I'm talking about in the story if you do know what I'm talking about. So there's no point. But like, say a guy is like playing the challengers, futures, like floating around, not winning, kind of making money. Maybe he gets a wild card. Suddenly he has a couple wins and now he's in the top 50. Suddenly, a lot of the time, that guy's too cool for his like old friends. Ooh. And he's not posting them no more, but he's posting the like the cool guy. He's making funny content with you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's some shit.
I'm obsessed with if famous people are shitty or not.
Yeah.
Like I'm obsessed with being like, what are they really like? What are they really like?
Yeah.
And I'm obsessed with watching documentaries of how people come up. Like I just love that shit. And someone told me once, they were like, if you're shitty as a person, when you get famous, you become shittier.
Extra shitty.
And if you're good as a person, when you become famous, you become even better.
That's
it's
crazy.
a very general term.
That's pretty vague.
But it's
like,
pretty vague. But it was interesting to me
interesting.
how like it can empower the wrong thing sometimes. It's like, look at us quoting shit. Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility.
Oh, ain't that the truth?
Period.
Ain't that the truth, bro?
He liked that. He just went for a drink. It was too much
like
for him.
Lynchy liked that one. He got nervous.
But with the concept of growing up, when I would win, people would like respect me more. So after I got engaged and I was like, I found my mans, I get fired from both my jobs. And in my, peanut brain, I was like, why would he love me when everyone hates me right now?
Oh, yeah.
And I am failing. So I had to like really face myself and be like, you're worthy, even though you're in like a really not good time where like on paper, like it's not good. Actually, everywhere it's not good. So I had to kind of face some of those demons. So then now that like things are going well, I'm like detaching it from like why I'm worthy, which is like some deep stuff that I had to work through. Yeah. Because I was always like, my dad's so proud of me when I win, and I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of compliments. I'm worthy of a good meal. Like, I'm worthy to exist.
Right now, and when you lose, he beats the shit out of you with the trophy. That's like Agassi's dad.
Someone needs to do a reality show of the parents of tennis players. My dad was always great, but like it's more like he's your hero, so you want to like. There was no physical abuse, but there was physical abuse on the tour. I'll tell you that, not involving me. But I do think that if you can get that power of knowing your worth without that, because I get motivated all the time. Like even when I'm doing well, I'm like, I want more. Yeah. And I think it stems from that. Like,
well, that's good.
The more I'm successful and the harder it is for me to fall, the more accepted I am.
Right. Or by yourself, you mean? Or
honestly,
in general as well.
By other people and shit.
That is I find that to be
You might be a
difficult.
little just more chiller in terms of like how you feel around people, accepting yourself.
I think my reactions are chiller, but I don't know that I am chiller. Like it bothers me very much when I'm in a situation where like somebody doesn't know who I am, or somebody like, I'd much rather be in a situation where I'm respected and people know me and they know my history and my accomplishments and my tenure, how long I've been doing this. Like it can be hard to like be at a club where they don't fuck with you, or they haven't given you a chance, or maybe they like disrespectfully almost gave you a chance. It's hard to like work through that stuff, and you need to.
True.
Because you still, the outcome is important. You want that thing. It doesn't have to be personal. It usually isn't. Yeah. You know, and I don't know, maybe this is getting convoluted now, but I see what you're saying. And it is really nice to get to experience all that. And I remember I was always afraid of headlining, and it was so easy to go and open. It's low stakes. You get to kill. You do a shorter set. You get paid. There's no pressure. But then the benefits of headlining outweigh the scary part. You're the man. Oh, you know, they treat you this and that. Like if the show goes well, it was all you. You know what I mean? Like you get the glory.
But then if the show goes badly, it's all you also. But that's also being a tennis player.
Totally.
You can't be like, oh, my teammates suck today.
But that's true. But you got to win the game. You got to win the match. Like you can't hope not to lose. You got to play to win.
Exactly.
Play to win.
Look at us. We're just some JV coaches, you know, giving advice.
The stuff is good enough.
I always say the relationship with the ball is like a relationship with life. But that shit is true. And I do think having that like sports mentality does help. Yeah. I think I always like reach pretty high. Like I'm kind of delusional. People joke on TikTok being a Delulu queen. Like I think it's important to be delusional. Like because with comedy, I didn't go about it the right way. Like I was very like, I'll start with 10 minutes, and then I'm like, I was headlining with like maybe 37 minutes in a Q&A. Like I just like threw myself out there.
Well, you had stuff like working against you.
I oopsed my way through
in a unique way. No, but it's hard to back into comedy, especially in New York. Like nobody wants that to work out for you because they've all done all the things they were told to do forever.
True.
Things were kind of changing a little bit. Like here you are getting booked over them. You've only been doing it, you know, X amount of years. So it's an easy thing to like receive scorn for.
Oh, for sure. But honestly, compared to reality TV, it's like, oh, I hear some like people in the green room are mumbling. I'm like, I can handle that.
Right.
I can handle that. And to my face, everyone's very nice.
Right. Which is another interesting phenomenon. It's like you could have a terrible day, you know, but people are still, hey, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they're saying.
I also I definitely have social anxiety. Like I love one-on-one. Like if I'm sitting with someone, we've both like decided we want to chat with each other, and I'm at the bar with someone and I'll go, and that's so much fun for me. But like group settings, I don't always know how to handle correctly. I'm like, do I take over? Am I the party? Funny. Or do I sit back? Do they want me to ask questions? And I feel like as I've gotten some success, like I've had to deal less with that like social dilemma because people are just like nice to me. But then recently I was somewhere where I felt like I was in middle school again, where I was like people were making eye contact with me, and I was like, what do I say? What do I do? And I got home, I'm like, that was horrible. I think I'd rather like not deal with social situations, and I'd rather work. Like I'd always rather be working than at the club or like on a date or like and that's again, like I'm a little weirdo like that. I just feel safer like doing a pod or being out working than grabbing dinner with like some new people. Yeah.
No, I feel you. And we've known each other for like kind of a long time.
Yeah. But also when people have good energy, it's great. I always say like I used to I wanted to force it with certain friend groups or force it in certain careers. And I'm really in this place in my life where I'm like, okay, they don't fuck with me and I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But that takes like failing and oopsing a lot to be like, oh, I'm not the problem. Like that wasn't meant to be. Like I'd be like, oh, should I have said something? Should I have acted cooler? Should I have done something differently? And all I could focus on is as Nadal would say, just focus on yourself.
Well, and you've done a great job at that. And I will also say, I will add one thing onto that.
Yeah.
Some of the people who I know who don't want to
I love when you start going like this because I'm like, just let's get real.
Hillary always says that I'm like very like, she's like, what is this? I'm like, dude.
You're Italian.
Yeah. I'm like, but for real, like I know people who hate that too, but they have a clever system for avoiding it. And that is they just roll deep. So they always have like 2 or 3 friends that they can sit in silence with. And I'm like, damn, that's like clever.
Wow. See, that's so funny because I had my kind of weird experience last week because I was feeling myself and I went to a party alone. Like I got invited and I was like, I'm going to show up alone because, you know, like I feel good about myself. And the whole time I was like, everyone hates me.
What
like,
have I done?
And it's so in my head, but like a couple bad interactions and you're like, oh my God, like I don't deserve to like be existing right now. And I got home and I was like, why'd I waste 4 hours to like be fucking, like you just feel horrible about yourself. And I do
you
a
feel
lot
shame.
Yeah.
Ongoing shame.
But then I had like one good interaction with someone and I was like, oh, I was good there.
Right.
And then you
Why
overthink
couldn't I?
it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just give me a mic and put me in front of everyone where I can control this and just do me.
Yeah.
But it's funny at every level. It's just like us wanting to feel like accepted in some capacity.
Accepted,
and
respected.
You got to find your people. And I think you're right with people who roll deep.
Yeah.
I think I need to start doing that, rolling with like 7 girls wherever I go.
You're good.
But it's also annoying because there's logistics. Is there enough people for the Uber? Like I don't want to deal with admin.
Yeah, 100%.
There's pros and cons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're looking for a delicious plant-based protein bar to start your morning, we recommend checking out some of the new Mosh protein bars.
We're finally teaming up with Mosh, guys. It's the best 12 grams of protein. I want to get strong.
You want to get strong, Ryan. You're looking strong. I want to get strong.
Thank you. That's why I have Mosh protein bars in my backpack at all times.
Yeah, they really are delicious and they're solid. Also, 7 to 8 grams of fiber, which is very solid, as well as 7 brain nutrients. They got ashwagandha, lion's mane, collagen, omega-3s. Each bar, like I said, includes 12 grams of protein, and it's a blend of soy, pea, and pumpkin protein, and only 1 gram of sugar. Very, very solid. Don't settle for a mediocre breakfast, guys, when you can nourish your body and mind with the fuel it needs to succeed. So, whether you've got a busy day ahead of you or you just want a quick and easy breakfast, Mosh's plant-powered protein bars. Say that 5 times fast. Have got you covered and will keep your brain and body fit, fueled, and feeling good so you can start your day right. Head to moshlife.com/oops to save 20% off plus free shipping on your first 6-count plant-based trial pack. That's 20% off plus free shipping on your first 6-count plant-based trial pack, which includes 2 of each mouth-watering flavor. Don't forget moshlife.com. That's moshlife.com/oops. Get in there. Okay, so I'm curious. I always see you like your shit, and I'm kind of like wondering. I'm like, she has a lot of energy. I'm like, she does a lot. I know you say you sleep, and maybe that's your secret. Like, you fully recharge, and then you just like crush it. Like, the amount of things that you appear to get done is like intimidating. I'm like, Jesus, like, how the fuck is she even doing this?
I'm running away from my thoughts.
So you're just like motivated by that? Like when you roll out of bed in the morning. So I want to get more specific about this.
I like
too.
this. Yeah.
But like you roll out of bed in the morning, like you immediately are like focused and ready. Are you ever like, how am I going to get through the day?
I'm such a bad morning person. Like I have morning anxiety. Like I'll realize I'm awake and then I'm like, fuck, like I have all this shit to do. I can't get out of bed in the morning. It's like the hardest thing for me to get out of bed. Like this time, like 4 p.m. is my prime.
Yeah.
But like my husband wakes up at 7 a.m. like a fucking farmer. Like he's out and running around.
Guy's a legend.
I
respect him. I hope, like, I know he's like well respected in general, but I hold this guy in extremely high regard. Show me another person who can kill in Chinese in China and doing stand-up comedy.
So he wants to come on the pod very badly.
I'm trying to get him on.
And
I hit him up the other week.
I know some people. I'll work it out.
Yeah.
I'll work it out. But he's also like, he's older. And I think it's also his family. They all wake up at like 7 a.m. So by the time I roll out of bed, he's looking at me. He's like, I got you coffee. I already, walked around the block. I recorded a podcast.
He kind of talks like
so
that.
I'm the lazy. That's how he talks. So I'm the lazy one in the family. So I get up. And my thing is, do I want to sit around and like, I think I'm immediately go to dark places. Like I tend towards that. Like I'll immediately have an existential crisis when I wake up and be like, what is my purpose? And am I okay? And am I happy? And why did that upset me? So immediately I'm just like, what can I do that's productive? And so immediately I'll be like, what's the video? And it's this dopamine hit. What's the video I'm putting up today?
And it'll rip, and then it feels good when it starts.
And then I
ripping,
get a high from that. And I'm in a kind of tough place because I used to work out all the time. And I haven't worked out. And like, it's not part of my day anymore because I travel so much. Like today I flew in.
Yeah,
got
she's
in at
fresh
like 11.
off a plane in here.
But like I want to I'm not gonna go fucking work out, especially when that was a thing that I did when I was like in trouble, or like that was how you trained. It's like a little rebellious side where I'm like, I'm not working out today. And then instead I'd rather just like, I do love editing. I love creating. What makes me happy is having an idea in my head and then it coming to fruition. Like that's really like, some people are like, oh, stand-up's my thing. Like I just love stand-up. Stand-up is like a side result of me just loving to have an idea and then it be a thing. So I'm very open to like different forms of creativity in that kind of way. I mean, you get it in terms of like a documentary. That's fucking sick to be like, like there's so many steps to get to that final place. So I kind of know what, I feel like a lot of comics are addicts in a way, and a lot of athletes are addicts. Dopamine and I'm not chasers. A drinker or like a smoker.
Yeah, I was going to ask, you don't drink at all?
I'll drink, but like I'm not drinking on the road. I'm not really drinking at dinner. If it's someone's birthday or like if the moon is right, I'll get fucked up. But like people ask me, I really treat it like sports. I don't drink. I don't stay up late. I mean, I do stay up late scrolling TikTok, but I'm not partying ever. And I think that does help a little. Yeah. But like I'm fucking napping all the time. It just, I have a constant need to hit that dopamine hit of like, what's that next video? And it's not healthy.
Yeah, no, it's not. But it's good to prioritize it because you can be so creative and do so many things. And like, you know, there's a way to really use the tools that were provided to help grow yourself. And like, you've done a really good job at that.
Thank you.
Was that like a conscious decision, or was it like, did it just happen to be something that was working? Like, so I'll be more specific about this question because it ties it. We'll go back to what we were talking about before. Shit hits the fan. You're toast. Does my fiance even love me anymore? Everyone hates me. The fans are so fickle. I have nothing. What was the plan? And then how did you execute the plan? And on top of that, what was your like day to day like in the new plan?
Ooh, I love talking about the process because like it is strategic. Before I went on reality TV, I was working creating funny videos. So
for Betches, right?
Yeah, for Betches. I was writing, editing, casting, acting, and I loved it. And I was doing stand-up throughout reality TV, but it wasn't part of my story. So the second I was done, I was like, what do I have? And I decided I'm going to post on TikTok 3 times a day. And I'm just going to do that. Like,
and what? Just whatever?
I'm going to post clips from my pod. I'm going to post stand-up clips. I'm going to post sometimes I would use it as a writing tool where I would just think of a premise and put the camera on me and see if I could get something funny. It's almost like writing on stage.
Those do well.
Those will do so well when it's like, that was a stupid thought I had in the shower a second ago. So I honestly was so dark that I was like, it was a little light that I was like addicted to. So I was posting 3 times a day and I just was like, I'm going to look back at 6 months and see if it's worth it. And like, it was worth it. Like I immediately started getting followers. And then it was like a year ago today that I was in the car in West Hampton and I was like, I want to ask guys funny questions about women or like topics that make them uncomfortable. And it wasn't that original of an idea, but I was like, I originally didn't even want to do comics. I just wanted to do, because I didn't want them to try to be funny. But then I was at the stand all the time. I also was just always at the stand because I didn't want to be like home alone with my own thoughts. I was like, I want to work. I'm working. Things are going well for me. Okay, I'm doing well. And those Man on the Street videos, thanks to you were in a bunch of them. I actually just reposted
You played
one.
me, dude. This is no, you don't know where this is going. So Hannah was like, "Hey, we're doing Man on the Street. Like, do you guys want to do it?" And I kind of was like, not sure, because I was like afraid of sounding stupid or whatever.
Yeah.
And she was just like, "Okay." And then she went over and started doing it, and I was like, well, I guess I'll do it. I do want to do it. You're like, okay, Mr. Cool Guy, I'll be over here if you want to come do this massive thing.
Well, I think I also was insecure that I did not want to like make you feel uncomfortable. So the second I felt you kind of a little uncomfortable, I was like, yo, it's not like that. Like I have like 20 like open micers that are trying to get on this right now.
Who are all going to have bigger careers than you after they do one of these.
Dude, I mean, it has warmed my heart where like, I think that also was me in the comedy space. Everyone was like, she has a lot of followers, but like, I don't know if I respect her. So it was this weird thing where I was like, I have a lot of followers. I don't know if you guys respect me. Let's get together and let's see what's going on. And then it became like, I became close friends with all these guys in these videos, and they would come up to me and be like, I've been doing comedy for 13 years. And this first time I got recognized was last weekend because of the Man on the Street video, because of something really hilarious that they said. And I'm using my editing. Like I loved getting it all. It was very time consuming, but I would.
And you're editing these yourself?
Yeah, so that's the thing that has helped me in my career, that I can edit. So I would I'd really be obsessed with the order of like what goes first, what's a good hook, what's a good surprise at the end, what's good back to back.
Totally.
And so I had this kind of project. I love a project. And that was like, so I do my shows, and I'm a little ADD, so I like to have a lot of moving pieces going on. So when something drops, it's like I still have something. So that was really, really like when shit started to pop, like the videos were getting millions of views. But when you're in it, you don't feel like I've made it. You're just like, oh, we're onto something. Let's keep working.
So okay. So you're posting the 3 things: pod clips, stand up, whatever you thought of.
Yeah.
You're like, let's try this, so let's try that. You see things working and you're like, okay, let's keep doing those.
Yeah. And I was also on the road through all this. Like I remember doing Buffalo right after COVID, 5 shows on a weekend at Helium, and they didn't sell out. And I remember it was like, didn't get paid well because I didn't hit like the minimum.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is, not great. That wasn't like, it wasn't ideal. And then I just kind of kept going and people started to fill up. But it took time, but it took just like me forcing myself to be myself and like push it out there. And people be like, oh, I feel so weird. Like I'm always following your stuff. And I'm like, I'm the one forcing you to see it. Like I'm putting it out where like the phones are people's TVs.
Totally.
Like everyone's like, I want to be on a TV show. I'm on my own TV show. And I'm going to make sure every time you turn the TV, you see my face. And that's like this new media that we're in. Yeah. Where it's like you can create your own kind of future with that.
100%. It's so true. So yeah, I mean, okay, question. When you're sitting there arranging your stuff, whatever, you're doing this all by yourself. You don't have like a person at the time.
So I like 3 weeks ago hired someone who helps us with Giggly Squad and my stand-up, but it took me like really long to get there because I wouldn't call myself a control freak, and I hate when people call themselves control freak. It's what I did. Like that was what I did, and that's what I love to do.
And you're going to spend time giving notes anyway. You're like, I might as well just do this myself.
Like I don't want to have to train someone. I'd rather just do it. Like it's actually harder to manage the wrong person. But like I got to the point where I was doing 2 podcasts. I was still editing one of them. I was on tour, creating content. And I remember I was hitting, like I wasn't happy, even though I was doing well. And it was my husband that was like, you have to hire someone because like what is life if you're just like I'd get home and he'd be like, oh, let's go to dinner. I'm like, I have to edit the pod. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? You just came home from Boston. And I'm I know. Yeah. I'm making money though.
Yeah.
So it's fun. I'm very bad at leisure, he calls it, but leisure. Like when I'm relaxing, I'm that thing in the back of my head is like, what could we be doing? Like, how are we bettering ourselves right now? Which is psychotic.
Yeah, it's not healthy.
It's not healthy.
It's okay.
But it's okay. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, if you stay on this path, you'll be able to retire young and have plenty of leisure.
And then when I retire, we were joking, I'm going to have to join a pickleball league, a golf league, a tennis league. I'm going to have to be very competitive.
I'll be begging you to do all of my things. I'll be like, can you please like tell people you liked my thing? Can you post that I'm at this 70-person comedy club this weekend because I've sold 7 tickets?
Shut up.
Guys, if you're looking for a solid holiday gift, highly recommend the Skylight Frame. What a wonderful way to hand pick a gallery of photos to go in a stylish, sleek frame to be on display in the house, however you or your loved ones see fit. Extremely user-friendly for all generations, and you can curate the best photos instead of having to, browse through your phone for hours to try to find the best ones. You get them, you put them in, and everybody's happy.
I have my Skylight Frame. I'm going to gift it to my sister, and I pre-installed all the photos that I have with my baby niece and other ones that she and my family have taken, and that's going to be a fun surprise. I'm so excited for her to get it.
Awesome, man. That's really nice. Uncle life, bro. Uncle life.
Uncle life.
Yeah, it's really just a splendid treat. Buy one for yourselves. Buy one for a loved one. Buy one for your grandfather. Everybody can benefit from the novelty of the Skylight Frame and what it has to offer. It's a winner, chicken dinner. You can upload photos from anywhere. Say you're on vacation and your family wants to see some of the photos, you can upload them directly in while you're still there. As a special limited time offer for our listeners, get $15 off your purchase of a Skylight Frame when you go to skylightframe.com/oops. To get 15% off of your purchase of a Skylight Frame, just go to skylightframe.com/oops. That's SKYLIGHT frame.com/oops. So when you're like sitting there, you're doing your clips, whatever, like, are you Monday morning, you're like, okay, like I'm going to try to get 10 days worth of shit right now?
No.
Okay. You're doing it like each day you're doing the thing for that day? I
have some systems, like I have a list where after I do a show, I'll quickly write down the crowd work moments that I liked. Cause I know that I forget shit. So it's all about lists on my phone. So I have a thing that says like shit to do. So it'll be like post these stand-up clips and it'll have like 3. Then it'll be like edit this or like write this. So I just like knock shit off my list and keep adding to the list. Like my whole life is just a note on my phone. And if it's not on that note, it's not getting done.
Yeah.
So I kind of keep it simple like that.
Yeah.
And I know, like even today I got home and I had like 40 minutes and I was like, oh, I wanted to post that old Man on the Street video that popped up because I liked it. Actually, it was the one where you talked about the nails.
Oh, that shit popped for me too.
Yes. So I was
what
like,
was the question?
I was like, what? I was like, what's your favorite nail color on a woman? What's your favorite nail color on a woman?
Maroon.
That's actually in for fall.
Good for fall?
It's good for fall.
Yeah, like Dr. Pepper. Maroon color.
Cherry Coke, that's what they're calling it.
I love it.
Cool.
Ryan.
Okay, he's on point.
Ryan's the best because he has very specific opinions that you like. He's so easygoing that you're not sure he's going to have them. So like, I just knew he was going to have something really good.
That's how you have to
nails.
handle my questions. You just have to lean in. You can't be scared.
Cool.
And
what was your answer?
I don't even remember, but I said, I twisted it.
Yeah.
What did I say?
You basically were like, I love these long nails. Like, I'm jealous. I want to have long nails like Rosalia so I could go, wah!
Yeah, so
you did this thing and people loved it.
Yeah, I got a bunch of DMs from like Gen Z kids being like, can I take you out? I'm like, bro, hilarious.
Some girls like, can I pay for your dinner?
20-year-old girl, can I take you out? Sure, dude. I'm also engaged. Sorry. But
then it's funny because then you cut it with some guy being like, yo, I don't care about colors. Like, that's for women. And then he's like, I want long ones like Rosalia. And then some guy's like, anything but black. And the other guy's like, only black. So it was just fun to see guys' personalities.
Yeah, super
put
fun.
it out. Yeah.
Super sick.
How many notes on your list of shit I got to do do you currently have banked up?
Great question.
It's a good question,
Let's go to the source itself. Stuff to do. It says, get Lois Halloween outfit. My little cousin's visiting.
Sweet.
Kyle video clip. I have to look at a video clip this guy sent me. 30-second promo. I'm doing a Facebook ad of something. Film cheating video. Like it's kind of long, but like the stuff at the top's the most pressing.
Do you allocate like a period of time every day to tackle the list, or is it kind of just when you get to it?
My days are insanity. And when I say insanity, I mean there's no routine, and I always thrived with routine.
Interesting.
That's why I've sacrificed working out, because it's like tonight I'm doing my Giggly Squad podcast. Tomorrow I have 2 podcasts. Next day I have an event, and like it's becoming crazy. But I realized I actually am now at the place where I have to start saying no to stuff, which I am not good at, because that's not how I was raised.
Yes, you need to start doing that. I'm glad that you started this new thing after we recorded this podcast.
Well, this took a while for us to get together.
You're busy.
It took a while, but I respect, you respected my space, and I was like, I got you. Just let me do it at the right time.
Well, we're friends, and I don't know, whatever. We know each other for a long time, blah, 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 whatever. I know you're busy. I know how it works. I don't take it personally, but I'm like, you also don't have to do the show. I won't hold it against you, because that is a thing. And that
I don't want to
sucks.
cancel right before on someone. Sometimes I'd rather be like, give me time. So I'm ready. And also, I love talking shit with you, and it's an excuse to hang because we haven't seen each other in a while.
100%.
I've been in Ohio, doing random shit.
Shout out Ohio.
But yeah, it's having the list and stuff just keeps my head clear. And when my parents would always tell tennis coaches you have to tell her when to stop, because she'll just run till her feet bleed, which I don't know what the problem where that comes from, but that's how I have to be with my career, where I have to say just because I do have an hour open on my calendar doesn't mean I need to book it.
Yes.
Recently someone's like, oh, this person wants you on the show. I see you're free on Friday. Can we book it? And normally I'd be like, yeah. But then I go, oh no, I've worked for 15 days straight. I need I have to consciously block time off.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
a good problem to have. Yeah, you have to be scaled back. I kind of had the opposite problem. They're like, all right, it's time to run. And I'd be like, oh my God, I have a cramp. You do not have to stop Giulio. He will not get to the point of bleeding.
No, but that's like you know when you haven't been playing tennis, so it's hard to play.
Yes.
When you've been playing every day, you're like, yeah, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
You stop. You can't even think, do I work today? Because you're just like rolling.
Yeah.
But as an entrepreneur, you have that fear of like, well, if I start saying no to things, life is fickle. People will just stop, or like people will be like, oh, she's never available type shit.
Did you guys go on a honeymoon?
So we had our wedding in West Hampton, where he has a place, and we travel a lot. So we were like, let's just hang out in beautiful West Hampton. So we didn't go anywhere.
That's nice.
But then fast forward, it was like a couple weeks before the French Open, months later, and Des was like, let's do the French Open, because I've never been to France. And he was like, let's do the French Open and then do the south of France, and that'll be our
sick.
So that was my first like bougie moment. And I actually am at this place too where I could enjoy tennis. Like I ran into Christiane.
Oh my,
she's working for the WTA.
Shout out to Christiane.
Shout out Christiane. She's a girl I used to play with. We had, you know, we'd always play each other, and it was all intense. I saw her and I was like, oh fuck it, this is my sister. Like I love you. And she's like mature now.
She's so cool.
She's like a little adult.
Yeah.
I remember when she was just, you know, 14 years old, like, you know, playing with like toys in the back. So it was kind of a good full circle moment that I could appreciate the sport that I love so much and be with my husband and just be chilling.
Were you in the back of your head thinking about making content / did you?
Oh my God. So this is the thing. At the end of the day, I'm a content creator because I like to make content.
Yeah.
So I'll be there and like I'll see a fit that I like, and I'm like, I need to post it. Or like I'll see Layla Fernandez was playing and I wanted to tag her and be like, go Layla. So it's more like I'm naturally always gonna want to create stuff, but it's like, no, I wasn't at home like editing shit or responding to emails. But I can't not be like, or like it was funny, like funny things were happening and I just like had to post about how funny it is.
Yeah.
And that's the world we live in.
Yeah, no.
But then I have my husband who's like, just get off the phone, and it's healthy to have that balance.
Yes, because otherwise
you will run to your feet bleed. He just learned about what a gift was, you know, like he keeps me humble, you know.
Yeah, no, and he's an OG.
He's an OG to the world.
He's an OG to the world. DB, the fucking man. I have 2 more questions for you before we wrap it up here. The first one, I'm curious. How much do you believe in yourself?
Oh my God. Whoa, that shit was crazy. Okay.
Bro,
if we're going real deep, like I'm trying to like get layers under layers. I don't think I believe I don't think I'm like the most talented, the prettiest, the like funniest. But I believe in myself. Like I believe that like no one is like me, and I believe that I can like outwork anyone, which is honestly kind of how I was with tennis. Like everyone was like, you don't have the prettiest strokes, your technique isn't, you know, perfect, but like I was like a crazy fighter. Like no one wanted to play me because I was crazy. So I believe in myself, not and without like comparing myself to other people. I can just, all I can control is me. So I kind of I do believe in myself.
Yeah, I always watch documentaries about people, and like the thing that like ties all of these like really successful, motivating people together is they always land on like, I could work harder than them. I could work. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, so then what do I have? Because I don't have that.
But also like the people who are working like crazy, like I'm a workaholic. I have a problem. Like my husband and I would literally get into it because he's like, stop working. And I'm like, mama needs to pay these bills. Okay. But it's true. Like I'm obsessed with is success happiness, and it's not. Like some of the people at the top are so fucking lonely, and they're trying to, like most people at the top, like their parents never said they love them. Like everyone has like a real issue that they're trying to fill a void that's not going to get filled by attention and fame and success and money. But they get it because they have this insane drive. So it's like you could be miserable and start working like crazy on something you don't really believe in. But like get your name on Variety or something. And it's like, it's everyone. I honestly feel like so many people are so happy because they're just doing what's right for them. Like they're an accountant in Illinois and like they are living such a fucking fulfilled, beautiful life. And I really like believe that. And I just happen to like need other things to like keep me afloat.
Right. Well,
but I'm obsessed with obsessed with watching documentaries of people, and it's always like the same thing. You know, they're in the Uber and they're just like, oh, and the crowd's crazy and they shut the door and they're like, oh, it's really hard. They're getting their makeup done and they're like, I told you to cancel that appointment. And I feel like I manifest it because I watch it all the time, that I'm like, that's what I want. Like, I want that craziness. I want to be in the makeup chair being like, I can't make that interview in 20 minutes. Like, I love the chaos of that because it makes me feel alive. Because just sitting by like a pool makes me feel empty. That was so sad.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
But we are so used to the adrenaline of sports. Like, I think my cortisol levels are just
it's true. It's not a coincidence that like a lot of comedians had some sort of like athletic thing that they were really good at, or like something that they were really good at before.
Like comedy. To win in tennis, you know, when you look at someone and they might be good, but I'm like, you don't have the
killer
want to
instinct.
Be the killer instinct, they call it.
Yeah.
You have to have the killer instinct in other things.
You can tell. You watch somebody play and you're like, that guy's a gamer.
Yes, or you're like, if I can get 8 shots in a row, he's gonna flop every time. Like, he just doesn't. But you're like, where do these people have this hunger from that you're like, you can't lose? It's like, calm the fuck down. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's not normal. Justin Bieber once said, someone was talking about Justin Bieber, how like, he did so many arenas, he had so much adrenaline and dopamine that now like he can't get dopamine from like normal things, and his dopamine levels are all fucked up.
That's crazy.
And my friend Paige, who the first time we did a live show, we walk off stage and she's like, no, Justin Bieber. And I was like, that was a small theater that we just did.
Like, okay, take it easy.
But there is something to say. Like, I was talking to Andrew Collin, how sometimes when you get back from the road, you get depressed. Because you were on such this like high low. Like, not that the road is all fun, but like, you're alive, and then you get back and you're just sitting on the couch, and you could like go to the extreme of like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. I didn't do anything for 3 days.
I like the road because a lot of the times I think that I need to allocate so much time to things when I actually don't. So then I'll be on the road and I can't possibly give it all the time it needs, but I can still easily get it done.
I do have to say,
it feels freeing.
I work fast. I'm like I'm not like, I just work impulsively. Like, I'll be like, boom, oh shit, I gotta post this right now. Like, it's never like I'm at a desk. Like, I don't write jokes at a desk. I don't have the focus to do that. I'll like tell myself I should, but like, I'm not you know, people are like, I wake up at 11.
I do my pages.
I get my matcha. And I free write. I free write for 4 hours. And then I go feel like, I can't do that shit. It never was me. I'm kind of like, I'll start something, I'll get distracted by something else. I'm online shopping, I'm on a phone call, like it's just chaos. But you find out how you work best, and I like to work smart, not hard.
That's good. I would say that I am not giving myself quite enough credit as far as like a work ethic perspective. Hillary would say that I work hard, which I don't know if it's like love blinders, but she's pretty critical.
She's like, my man.
Like, she could be critical. She's like realistic. So she wouldn't, I don't think her telling me that, I'm like surprised to hear her say that. I don't think I work smart. Like, I'll spend 9 months editing a documentary that I make negative $20,000 on. But I'm like, it's okay. I love it.
But like, it's such a thin line between like failing and
That's
genius.
True. That's true. No,
like,
you're right.
Literally, with one thing, it could have gotten in a festival that could have gotten you there, and you're.
It made no sense why he chose to do that, and that actually turned out to be the reason why it worked, because he's the only one who did it.
And I can't wait for you to talk to Dez eventually. Because he did something he shouldn't have necessarily gone to China for 2 years. That wasn't like smart in his career when he had so much momentum in Ireland, and I think it did well, but like, obviously, you know, it wasn't a natural progression for his career. And he was like, I'll never regret it, because like, it made me who I am now. Like, it's so much of who I am.
Totally.
So it's like, you can't fake what you want to do. And I always say, like, if it doesn't, I don't know if it's ADHD, but if it's fun for me, I will work so hard at it. I'll be obsessed with it. I'll edit it all day. But if it's not fun, like, I cannot get myself to do it.
I know. And but like, sometimes that can be the truth of the same project. Like, starting it sucks, and then once you get halfway, then you feel the high of how good it looks and all the shit.
And I just feel lucky that I don't have a boss. I don't want to have a boss ever. And I feel lucky that I get to like be in a creative field and make money, because I didn't think that was possible. It was at Betches where I started meeting other comics that I was like, wait, they're like cool people. They're not these like, you know, most of them are a little wild, but they're not just like DJs who were high all the time.
Right.
I mean,
right.
they kind of are. But like,
No,
as
but
in,
I
I'm like,
understand.
this is a legit human that's making a living doing comedy, like making people laugh.
I know.
So like, they inspired me to even know it was possible.
That stresses me out sometimes too, though, because like you put two comics next to each other. I love how I'm finding the dark side of it.
No, I need this.
But I'm usually like pretty positive, right? I'm a positive guy in general. I really am.
Say so, yeah.
But
He
like,
cried like 3 times.
what gives me like anxiety? You put two comedians next to each other. One of them is really funny, or sorry, they're both really funny.
Yeah.
One makes money, one makes no money, and sometimes it's like and if I were to pick it apart, you'd probably be able to figure out the specifics as to why. But like that bothers
But
me.
at the table at that moment, you're like, these are two people who are making me laugh so hard. They're both so unique and cool and funny and charismatic. But you're right, people can have such different careers.
I want to be the one who makes the money.
Yeah.
They're both good. I need to make money.
We are at
or
a
I'm gonna
different
die.
time in the world though, where like back then you go to JFL or you get signed with a certain manager who can then put your name in front of someone, and then you get that breakthrough
Right.
role. And like obviously you could get SNL, but this kind of like a lot of people get on TV shows and like nothing happens.
Totally.
Or like you're literally getting paid less than someone doing TikTok deals
Totally.
for a week.
Totally.
Than like 6 months on a show.
Totally.
So like, and people, I don't need a manager necessarily to put my name in people's offices because they can look on their phone. So it's changed where like comics now don't have to wait to get chosen as much, and you can kind of create your own virtual thing, which is what I like really encourage comics to do. And it sucks because you have to become like, you have to either hire an editor, you have to become like a sound technician, you have to become a videographer, and you have to market yourself, which a lot of these comics, it's like, that's not what they signed up for, and I fucking get it.
Yeah.
But that's what gave me a little advantage coming from a video production experience where I saw it as like, how do I make funny videos?
Totally.
Yeah.
Today, hip-hop dominates pop culture, but it wasn't always like that. And to tell the story of how that changed, I want to take you back to a very special year in rap.
88, it was too much good music. The world was on fire.
Yeah. I'm Will Smith. This is Class of 88, my new podcast about the moments, albums, and artists that inspired a sonic revolution and secured 1988 as one of hip-hop's most important years. We'll talk to the people who were there. And most of all, we'll bring you some amazing stories.
You know what my biggest memory from that tour is? It was your birthday.
Yes, and you brought me to Sade, life-size cardboard cutout. This is Class of 88, the story of a year that changed hip-hop.
Listen to Class of 88 wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge the entire series right now on the Amazon Music app or Audible.
You wake up on Saturday morning or whatever, you're in Ohio, you have a show that night. What is your day on the road like?
This is like honestly the most embarrassing part of my life, that like I think because I was playing 3 hours of tennis a day like my whole life, I get off on not doing anything. Like I love having a day where nothing's planned, and most of my days are crazy. So if I have nothing, I love being on the road because I'll be like, I'm on the road, I'm busy, but I'll be like, I'll order in get some coffee, get like a good breakfast. I love a good brunch breakfast.
You order it to the room?
Order to the room. I'm not going outside. And then, Saturday I check my fantasy football draft. Make sure I'm going to be set for tomorrow. Edit some videos.
In the hotel room?
In the hotel room. Take a nap. I'm on the phone a lot. I'm on the phone with my husband, my manager, my mom. Rotate it.
Pacing around the room?
A little bit. Or just lying in bed. Like I won't get out of bed. It's a problem. But then I take a nice nap. I'll nap up until 5:30. Have to do hair and makeup myself. 6 o'clock, ready to go to the venue. 7 o'clock, show.
Wow.
Hannah, did you see the sights? No. Occasionally I'll go to, I like thrift shopping. So I'll find like a good thrift shop in town. But some of these towns are like dangerous, and walking around as alone as a woman in like a city with like no people in it is like kind of creepy.
Not a walkable city.
It's not walkable.
You don't drive.
Yeah, and then I'm walking 30 minutes somewhere. I come back, I'm tired, I'm sunburnt.
Yeah.
So I chill. Would I like to work out? Yes. But I don't. I'm not going to lie to you on this podcast.
Okay, I respect that.
You're
All right,
welcome.
and finally, one last thing. Our pal Lynch here, Ryan Lynch, he's begun doing stand-up.
Yay!
And I think it's a fun thing to see what each guests we have's advice for him as on the perilous journey he has chosen. What would you say to a guy who's fresh in the game? Don't
listen too much to what other comics say. Because if I cared about what other comics thought about me, I wouldn't be here right now. It's really they're going to tell you like so many things that's their own projection of like their own insecurities, their own experiences. Times are changing every year of like what comedy is and the ladder to get to where you are. And don't try to make the comics laugh, try to make the audience laugh, because the audience is the ultimate like decider. And I don't care if Brian, who's 42 and hates comedy and has been in the game for too long, doesn't like my joke. I'm not changing who I am because one guy in the green room thought it was hack.
That's interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of like random gatekeeping in that way, where like somebody chose to do something a certain way for a while and it like kind of didn't really work, or maybe they're still figuring out how to make it work and they're like want you to do that too. God forbid you found a way to do it faster than they've done.
Comics do like to kind of tell you like the lay of the land, or like this is what the comics are saying.
They gaslight you into failure.
Yeah, it's like if you want to be part, like, and then unless like there's someone you admire and you want to be like, don't take their advice. Cause I mean, but that's like New Yorkers. New Yorkers are great. Like we're gonna talk shit, we're gonna make fun. But I've gotten such bad advice from comics where I'm like, if I listened to that motherfucker, I'd be literally doing open mics right now. And I think also, I would like, some people, they talk about, you know, certain comics that they want to be like. I really don't try to emulate anyone, because also I'm kind of spongy where like if I do watch someone too much, I'll start like talking like that.
Oh yeah, that's happened to me before.
That's so like really don't try to be like other comics, be yourself. And if I could talk about this forever. Another note too is like to get better on stage, it's not about killing all the time. Once I was told like stop, it was actually Joe at the stand was like, you need to bomb more. Because I was like wanting to do so well all the time that I wasn't working on new bits. I wasn't loose enough. And my husband, who's been in the game like for a long time, was like, go up there and challenge yourself sometimes. Like just see what you can do with no material for like 5 minutes. Like that's how you become a better comic. So yeah, don't be afraid of messing up on stage and just like getting stage time.
Cool. Thank you.
Solid.
I have one more question. Can you share with us your first experience doing an open mic, or first time doing comedy? How that went?
Yeah, I mean, I had a very unorthodox first situation. I was like writing video stuff and writing tweets for like, I'd say like 2 years. And then I started a podcast, and Caroline's, rest in peace, Caroline's reached out and said, do a live podcast. And my friend goes, I dare you to do 10 minutes of stand-up comedy up top. Now, I had a lot of stand-up friends. I never wanted to do stand-up comedy. I never cared. But I had like so many tweets. And I took my tweets and I'm like, that's a premise. That's a punchline. And I put it, I was like, these are about food. These are about cuddling. This is about cats. And the first time I ever did comedy was for a sold out 300-person crowd, 10 minutes in the front, which no one would ever give you that advice. But then after the show, people came up to me and they were like, the first part was our favorite part. And I remember some New York comics came up to me and they were like, if you want to do this, like you have potential, but you got to do it the right way. And like people gave me good advice, but they're more successful comics than me, you know, like they were like, you got to, you know, do the time. And like, so I felt like I was a natural. And it was like, when I played tennis, I'd get a lot of performance anxiety. So when I was about to walk on stage, I remember having this moment like, am I going to go on stage and that like demon's going to come out and be like, you can't do this. You're going to fuck up. And I felt calm on stage. I felt like I was at like having coffee with a friend. And in that moment I was like, oh, I think I found like something I really like to do. And I'm like, have potential in it. So the first time I did stand up was 10 minutes in front of 300 people.
Wow. That's crazy.
And, yeah, I never did an open mic.
Oh, wow.
So, and that's not normal in New York City.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of small, you know, bar shows, but yeah.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Throw it in the folder. And good shit. What do you got coming up if you want to plug anything?
Oh yeah, I'm going to be in Reno, Madison, Denver. And yeah, listen to Giggly Squad if you like Oops.
Sweet.
And Berner Phone with my husband.
Hell yeah. And where can we get tickets?
Oh, HannahBurn.com/shows.
Sweet. I'm going to be in Louisville Thursday this week. Then big show in Toronto in December. Also St. Pete, Utah. NotJulio.com for tickets. Oops the podcast. Oops podcast@gmail.com. We love you guys. Adios.